Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. I'm the Gray Strega, and I'm here to give you your daily collective read for today, Monday, March 13th, 2023. What do we have coming through in the cards for today? Can I please get, the first card flying out really quick. Queen of Swords in her reversal. So this is very intriguing energy because I do recall that we saw this card in its upright yesterday in our daily collective read. So what we're really seeing here is there is something happening around the feminine energy, bearing in mind that this is not based on gender, but what you feel most aligned to, that is allowing the feminine to feel like they can put their guard down. So there has been some kind of sea change from yesterday to today where the feminine energy is feeling more vulnerable, more expressive. Whether this is coming through as a moment of emotional vulnerability or a moment of weakness, we'll try to get some clarity to find out. But there is something here about the feminine energy being more open today, which we don't necessarily not like to see. Let's find out. Let's get some clarity on it. More clarification coming right now with the masculine energy coming through right now with this Knight of Cups in its reversal. So where is some of this vulnerability coming through right now? Well, this is potentially around some masculine, and we need to talk about this because this is a bit of a differentiation depending on whether you align to feminine or masculine energy right now. So for masculine energy right now, there is some kind of question around emotional expressiveness and feeling some sort of resistance point in coming forward with some sort of emotional expression, potentially with a lot of concentration or attention right now put towards a feminine energy who you do feel is at some kind of vulnerability point. So this is a bit intriguing because something about this vulnerability may be keeping this energy from coming forward with this emotional expression. While for feminine right now, this is feeling very open and vulnerable, even around potentially or having a lot of concentration towards a manifestation of masculine that has not been coming forwards in an emotional expression. So something is going on with these two energies that is a bit triggering, but let's see if we can get more clarification on what is occurring. The next card we're getting for today's 5-card spread is a Hanged Man in its reversal. So this is some point of release that we are seeing and experiencing today. And this may have to do with the fact that these energies are potentially kind of releasing or loosening their hold on one another. Because more than anything, this is describing the fact that there is some situation that you need to pay attention to today. Asking yourself if it's worth staying in something that is difficult or causing you pain. Have you received all the insights that you've required at this point? Or are you ready to basically move forward and move on, having learned everything that you can in those situations and scenarios? So we are seeing a lot of release energy coming through for today. Continuing to get, and that would make a lot of sense based on those two cards feeling kind of those opinions around each other. Continuing to get clarification on these cards right now. This is a Judgment in a reversal. So we are seeing here, and again, this card has been coming up in its reverse a lot right now. There is something about this being some point of reconsideration, something that you may have had your mind set on or a decision you made. This is a moment of reorientation, of really asking yourself if that is still the right choice for you or if it's time to make a different choice. And this is potentially coming through because there is some situation or circumstance that was potentially causing you some kind of pain or difficulty or was not ideal for you to stay in, but that you are allowing yourself to stay in, hoping to get the insight you need. This could just be the moment of release today, of just kind of deciding or making this determination that you've learned everything that you need, and this is what is allowing you to make an alternative choice today. Continuing to get clarity on these cards right now, the final card in our 5-card spread is a 7 of Pentacles moment. So there is a feeling of patience in the air, of putting your time and energy into those places and in those directions that you feel are going to yield the best, most long-lasting results for you right now, and putting a lot of attention in kind of curating those places and putting making sure that the places that you're putting your attention are actually going to yield like the proper future results that you're hoping for, versus potentially releasing yourself from anything that is just kind of causing you pain or frustration for no apparent reason. Continuing to get clarification on these points right now, the next card that popped out just came out transverse. There is some kind of standoff energy here that we're seeing clarifying between this Queen of Swords in its reversal and this Knight of Cups in its reversal. So what we're really seeing here is this is feeling like a bit of a standoff energy, or it's just feeling like kind of like reaching a point of feeling that there is like a barrier that's been reached, or a point of impossibility around an argument or conflict between these two energies, around one energy that is staying very vulnerable and one that is not coming forward with the emotionality required. And there's just this feeling right now between these two, and this is the standoff energy we see here, where it just kind of is starting to feel like a moot point, like this is just an end, this is just an argument or conflict that is dangling, that has no ideal potential positive resolution, but it's just kind of going to exist here, which would give us a lot of explanation on where this Hangman in its reversal is coming from, and some of this release energy that we are experiencing today. Continuing to get clarification between this Knight of Cups in its reversal and the Hangman in its reversal. So really a moment right now where, and again, feels a little bit different depending on whether you align to feminine or masculine energy. For feminine right now, this could be a moment where you're not necessarily seeing the emotional, expressiveness, or the apologies, or the emotionality, or the emotional gestures that you require in a situation, and this is what's allowing yourself to be freed up from it. For masculine right now, this is a moment where you're just kind of holding back on these kind of emotional expressions, and this is a moment where you're potentially freeing yourself from some situation that you are feeling this difficulty around right now. Can I please get clarification on these two cards? Clarification coming right now with Page of Wands in its reversal. No communication coming through around this area right now, around some kind of ongoing conflict or standoff, that there is something here again with the masculine energy not necessarily wanting to come forward with that emotional gesture, using this moment to free themselves up and just holding off on this communication as a result, in an attempt to free themselves from something that is difficult, that they feel they cannot get any more insight or clarity on. For feminine right now, this is a moment of freeing yourself up and moving out of any situations or circumstances that you are not seeing the emotional expression that you would ideally desire, and you're not getting the communication. This is kind of the breaking free moment that we are seeing here coming through. Continuing to get clarification between this Hangman in its reversal and the Judgment in its reversal. Really using this opportunity to allow yourself to be freed up, making different choices for yourself based on situations or circumstances that you don't want to be in, that may have been causing you pain, and you feel like there isn't any kind of like higher spiritual insight to be gained from staying in those connections. May I please get one card to clarify? That is way too many cards. That is way too many cards. We're going to read them. We're going to read them because that's what we do here. All right. So this is the thing. This is a lot of energy here. Whatever this release is happening here, there's a lot going on. So let's walk through it real quick because there's a huge here. This freeing is really, and it's going to feel a lot different depending on whether you align to feminine or masculine energy, bearing in mind that this is not based on gender, but what you feel most aligned to. This is an act of healing. This freeing yourself and making a different choice right now is an act of healing, specifically around a masculine energy that is feeling like they have lost their confidence and lost a degree of control in a situation or circumstance. And there's something about freeing themselves from this situation that they're hoping to gain back some of this control as they move forward in this healing, in this direction of their own healing. While for feminine right now, this is a moment of healing for yourself, bearing in mind that you are looking at whatever energies that you're freeing yourself from around masculine energy, and you're just kind of seeing it as a masculine energy that is not standing in its integrity and is potentially causing some kind of chaos in your own life, and that there is some aspect to this energy that you're looking at in a detriment, or feeling like it is controlling or not necessarily using its power in positive, productive ways, but in ways that just kind of cause more grief and anxiety to you. So this is a huge release moment that we're seeing, where choices are being made to either, again, for masculine energy, try to get back some control in a situation they felt they've lost control of around, and for feminine, moving away from any energy that you feel is coming through in like a non-positive or controlling fashion. Continuing to get clarification right now between the Judgment card in its reversal and the Seven of Pentacles. So really a moment of making different choices for yourself, of choosing different paths than you have in the past, but also putting a lot of consideration in those choices on what is going to yield you the best possibilities or the most long-term benefits in terms of the choices that you're making at this moment. May I please have one card to clarify? Clarification coming right now towards those energies that are coming through with productive, physical, present offers, tangible offers, things that are held very much in, like, that can be held in your hands, that can be observed, that are right in front of you, as opposed to kind of waiting on some kind of communication or emotional gestures that we see aren't coming through in the way that you would ideally desire. So for feminine right now, this is kind of going towards those energies that are coming forward in this fashion. While for masculine right now, this is forming. This is potentially feeling right now a moment for masculine where you are cultivating and putting together the offers that you are going to go forward with from this point. So new energy here, new experiences, new offers coming through, but solid, true offers, which we like to see a lot. Continuing to get clarification on these points right now, clarification between this Five of Wands and its transverse with a Page of Wands and its reversal. So the feeling of some ongoing conflict that's kind of reached an impasse, that there's almost like no solution for it, that's causing some kind of barrier between feminine or masculine energy. Feminine feels very vulnerable about it. Masculine feels very emotionally vulnerable, but isn't coming forward with that emotionality. And this is what's causing the impasse, combined with a lack of communication on both sides around this impasse of communication. May I please get one card to clarify? One card, please. Thank you so much. This is coming through as a moment of weakness. That's what this is ultimately starting to shape up to look like, and it's feeling a bit different depending on whether you align to feminine or masculine energy. For masculine energy right now, there is something about this reluctance or resistance to come forward in this emotional fashion that is coming through as almost a fear-based motion that is giving you, like, making you too afraid to come forward in some degree or some way as it relates to this conflict or this ongoing like standstill. And that's what's leading you not to communicate right now. There is some fear or anxiety that needs to be addressed about your approach or how to go forward. While for feminine right now, this is a moment where you're potentially not communicating with this energy because you are looking at some of this reluctance or resistance of it coming forward in this fashion simply as an energy that is not standing in its integrity or may even be operating from a place of fear. And that is what is also leading this impasse moment where you're not necessarily communicating with this energy either. Continuing to get clarification on this very, very powerful combination of the Page of Wands in its reversal combined with, and if you're ready for it, as I said, Emperor in its reversal, King of Swords in its reversal, Wheel of Fortune in its reversal, and the Three of Swords in its reversal. Okay, so really this moment where where the energies are not potentially, there is some area where the energies aren't communicating, or some energy communication is being pulled away from some areas. For feminine, this is because there's a feeling of a masculine that you are kind of having questions around their integrity, or potentially having some anxiety about their level of control and whether that control is coming through in a positive or in more of a negative fashion rather than positive. While for feminine right now, we are seeing, while for masculine right now, this is a moment where you're simply potentially pulling communication back around some areas right now where you are feeling or experiencing some loss of control or some setback as it relates to feeling control in this, and this is what's creating this fear-based moment for you, that is like, or making you feel like you're like losing some of your confidence here, and you're working on your own healing. So both masculine and feminine kind of pulling back and concentrating on their healing from this moment, and that's what's leading to some of this lack of communication. We've got clarification coming through right now, though, with the Ace of Wands in its reversal. So even though, I will point out, even though we do see here that there are some areas where communication is being pulled from, in other areas, it's like this energy, this communication is being redirected. and it's being redirected to the places that we can see it physically having practical applications in the world right now with this Ace of Wands. So use almost like readjusting this energy away from the places that you feel are not necessarily benefiting you right now, and instead putting them to the places where you're able to see immediate tangible results for your creative efforts, for your communication efforts. Continuing to get clarification right now between, again, Emperor energy in its reversal, King of Swords in its reversal, Wheel of Fortune in its reversal, Three of Swords in its reversal. So again, and this Knight of Pentacles. So again, for masculine right now, this could be having some feelings of a loss of control in some areas and trying to make the best out of a bad situation, even as you heal, by coming forward and putting together these like very tangible offers as you go forward. While for feminine right now, this is a moment of really looking at some, like having some kind of determination moment between some masculine energy in your life that does not necessarily feel like it's coming through in the most positive way, versus other masculine energy that's potentially coming forward in a very forward, upfront fashion with very practical offers or opportunities there. May I please get one card to clarify? Clarification coming right now with the, and I'm not surprised to see it because we got it yesterday, the 10 of Wands in its reversal. So really there being a moment right now of a cycle coming to a completion and putting down a burden that has become too heavy to carry. Really, again, a lot of release energy we are seeing in this spread today, having these moments of asking yourself, what do you want to move forward on? What do you want to pour your time and energy into, because you know that there are productive possibilities coming from it, versus the places that you are carrying burdens that are simply too heavy and not necessarily taking you where you ideally want to go. Continuing to get clarification between these cards, clarification between the Knight of Swords in its reversal and the Ace of Wands in its reversal. So again, a bit different for masculine or feminine energy, bearing in mind this is not based on gender, but what you feel aligned to. For masculine energy right now, there is a moment of feeling some anxiety as it relates to how to move forward in some areas. This may even be you pulling away from moving forward in some areas, but redirecting a lot of that energy right now to the places and in the directions you feel will have the most tangible results, putting a lot of practical application of creative force into the world today and in the things you're doing right now. While as for feminine energy, this is feeling that there is a masculine energy that you've got your attention drawn to that you feel isn't potentially standing in their integrity or isn't coming forward in the fashion or direction you would ideally desire, but not necessarily letting this stop you right now, using this as a moment where you are channeling your own creative energies into those things in your life that will have the most immediate outcome and have like the most practical physical results in the tangible world. May I please have one card to clarify? We've got clarification coming with right now with the Two of Pentacles in its reversal. Priorities are being set right now. Priorities are being adjusted, and more importantly, priorities are being put down. This is really coming through in a moment right now where, again, much like that 10 of Wands in its reversal, there is a lot of concentration being paid to where you're putting your energy and truly asking yourself what is worthwhile of your energy, or what is simply just taking up too much of your time and energy to bear. So really a consolidation of priorities coming through right now for both masculine and feminine energy, which would explain why the masculine's pulling away in some areas and feminine is also like not putting as much attention on any energies that aren't coming towards them in the way that they would ideally desire, and this reorientation to one's own practical creative channels that you know can have immediate results. Continuing to get clarification on these points right now. Clarification between this Ace of Wands in its reversal and this 10 of Wands in its reversal. So really using this energy right now to push forward on the places that you are going to see immediate results for your creative outlets, for your creative actions, trying to get a lot of things done right now, channeling that creative energy in very practical ways, and simply putting down any burdens today that are becoming too heavy to carry, not putting your time and attention into those areas and allowing some of these cycles to reach a completion point. May I please have one card to clarify? Clarification. What is this? What is this? Clarification coming right now with the 7 of Swords. really having this moment right now, at least of observations, of understanding right now that even as you're moving forward with some of these creative creative endeavors, trying to put down some of these burdens, there is some kind of niggling feeling that you're having about potentially going back to situations or circumstances from the past that may have caused you pain, may have caused you difficulty, may have caused you adversity. But we also see here, I think that this is really identifying, what we're really seeing here is, I think, identifying the struggling point is what we're really recognizing. Looking at these situations and now being a moment to really ask yourself, do you want to push forward in those new places, in those new creative endeavors, or are you going to let yourself go back to those situations and circumstances that have only brought pain before and potentially only have the possibility of bringing more pain as you go forward into them? So there's a big decision here. I have to point out, this is a decision that some of you may choose to go back to these situations because this is a decision point about the burden becoming too much to carry. Is the burden of not going back too much to carry, or is the burden of holding space to go back on these too much to carry? This is a moment of real activation between these 2 points to determine how you're going to proceed going forward. Final card for today right now, and this is a big decision day. This is a big decision day. Decisions between the Two of Pentacles in its reversal with the the Seven of Swords. So really a moment today of determination, of looking at the things that you're prioritizing and asking yourself what you're going to put down and whether you're potentially going to go back to situations or circumstances from the past that have caused pain, potentially going back to those situations or circumstances, this being moment of activation and a decision needing to be reached. May I please get one card to clarify? Clarification coming right now. Knight of Wands. Knight of Wands, which is very intriguing because we got this card in the daily collective, in our cards of the day over the last few days. Okay. And so what this really says, what we're really seeing here, and this is going to feel a little bit different depending on whether you align to feminine or masculine energy, is this is coming through as the answer is going to be based on communication. That the choice is actually going to be moving right now into the avenues that communication is occurring on. And this is going to feel a little bit different depending on whether you align to feminine or masculine energy. Bearing in mind, this isn't based on gender, but what you feel most aligned to. For feminine right now, we're seeing that the determination factor in terms of where you are going to go forward is how the energy is coming forward to communicate today. That the choice and the option right now around what that priority point is going to be is entirely based on what masculine energy is communicating with you in a productive fashion, with the way that masculine energy is coming forward, the intentionality is how they're coming forward. This is going to be your deciding factor right now. Less to do about the situations, more to do with where the energy presently is and how it is behaving towards you right now, or whether it's communicating. Whereas for masculine energy right now, this is a moment of driving forward with communication on the places that you are now choosing to make your prioritization point. So again, this could be some situations for some masculines from the past, or it could be putting down some options in terms of kind of asking yourself where you want to direct that communication and passion right now. Big decisions in the air with the cards today. Big decisions, a lot of release energy, but also, and this is what I meant with this back and forth that we're seeing, in terms of going forward and backwards, right? Release while there's also new energies entering. Bottom of the deck on this reading right now is, can't make this up, folks. Two of Cups in its reversal. So like I said, there's a lot of shedding of energy potentially happening here. There's a lot of attention right now on not only new partnerships, but partnerships that have been kind of broken to some degree. So even as we see this moment of pushing forward, there is something here with a lot of attention right now being paid to how to restore or fortify those connections that you want to go forward with. There could even be, I mean, I feel like some of this is even coming through as a bit of like damage control, if you will, about looking at some connections and being like, what do I need to restore or fix these, versus the connections that you're just kind of looking at right now and accepting, having this point of acceptance and saying, these connections cannot be fixed. These connections are at a standstill, and therefore that this is the time to kind of release or allow them to kind of move through your experience. So a lot of decisions today, a lot of things around communication, a lot of things around and a lot of things around partnership today. Just keep that in mind. That is our daily collective read for the day. Just a reminder, if you would like to book a private reading, you can book one on my website, graystrega.com. Please remember, if you book a private reading, it is a two-step process. You have to book the reading, you have to pay for the reading. Please make sure you do both if you'd like to have the reading. I want to thank you guys so much for having this reading with me today, and we will do this again tomorrow.